Well, it looks like MetaZoo is no more, officially closing operations, and it is now another failed TCG. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Very sad news if you are a MetaZoo player or collector, but let's be honest, most of the people who were into MetaZoo were not players, they were collectors. You know, it was one of those TCGs right from the start. I just got bad feelings about it. I never really liked the artwork. I thought the names were kind of stupid, like Mothman and just weird. It felt like it was a game that was meant to troll people based on what was actually on the cards. You know, just attaching themselves with people who don't really play a lot of TCGs. I felt like right from the get-go, they were trying to use the credibility of influencers in the space, and then when that didn't work out, they kind of went radio silent, and then all of a sudden, they released the Hello Kitty set, and that was supposed to be a set that was going to sell really well, tanked immediately on TCG Player, the price just completely tanked. Everyone thought that it would have done well because Hello Kitty is one of the most desirable brands in the world. It's a really incredibly large IP, and I think they're kind of taking a little bit of what Magic the Gathering is doing at the Universes Beyond. They're trying that out, testing the waters out with Hello Kitty, and it just did not work out, unfortunately, and I think they spent a lot of resources on that, and that really hurt the bottom line. I know that they also had some issues paying players, and just there's other people that needed to be paid. It felt kind of like a pump and dump scheme, this card game. It was out for about 4 or 5 years, so it did have a little bit of longevity, but ultimately in the end, the game just didn't make it, and unfortunately in this economy, you have got to be a pretty good game to make it. You're in a bear market all around, not just for TCGs, but the economy in general. The stock market's still pretty stagnant right now. There's not a lot of growth opportunities, so it is very sad. It's a very sad day for anyone out there who really did enjoy the game, and my heart goes out to you. If you were someone who liked collecting the cards or playing, then it does suck. It really does suck, and there's no way to console someone like that unless, you know, they maybe want to go into another TCG. If this is the only card game you like, then my condolences even more so. And that's one of the reasons why I also like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, because these are cards that have been around for a long time. These are TCGs that have been around for a long time. They have the longevity, they have the history, and they have the fan support. And will there be other TCGs that will be in that same category later on? Maybe we'll see Flesh and Blood in a few years. They've been around for quite a while as well, a little longer than MetaZoo, I believe even. You have Lorcana that just came out and that has the backing of Disney, so I expect that to be a card game that's around in the future. I don't think I see that game failing anytime soon. They're doing decently right now, and I don't see any reason why they will fail, especially with the backing of Disney. So you have Pokemon right now. You have other games like Grand Archive, you have MetaZoo, which is gone now. So that is one TCG that maybe there's going to be some market share, market space that other TCGs can take over from that. But I'm not sure how big of a TCG it was. I went to a lot of game stores and they rarely ever sold MetaZoo at all. I think I saw it at one game store. That was it, and it was a pretty large game store. I think it was 401 Games in Toronto. I think they had some MetaZoo. That was the only store I've ever seen in Canada that actually carried the product. I'm sure it was sold a lot more in the States. I don't think it branched out too much worldwide, and that might have also been one of the reasons why it just didn't have that reach. But here's an article here from comicbook.com. MetaZoo Games shuts down. The trading card publisher unexpectedly announced its closure today. MetaZoo Games, the publisher of a trading card game which became popular among collectors due to the pandemic, during the pandemic, has announced its immediate shutdown. Immediate shutdown. That is just scary. Like, they might have to pony up a lot of money to a lot of people soon, and that's why they just didn't see a future in the game anymore. They were also, I think they were planning on making a TV show, and so obviously those are all scrapped now. It is with heavy heart that I must announce that, effective immediately, MetaZoo Games will be closing and shutting down all operations. MetaZoo founder Michael Waddle wrote on the company's Discord. Waddle explained that the company was faced with logistical and product gridlocks that posed too great a challenge to the company for it to continue. Although he hoped that MetaZoo would continue on as an IP at some point under the new ownership, shortly after the announcement, MetaZoo wiped its social pages and shut down their official Discord. That is scary stuff. So completely wiped after saying maybe there's some hope in the future the IP to keep going. That is some scary stuff. MetaZoo was founded in 2020, so during the pandemic, as a collectible trading card game that featured art heavily inspired by Ken Sugimori's early Pokemon artwork. And I did always feel like it was kind of like a pseudo Pokemon ripoff. I don't know. If you feel that same way, let me know in the comment section. Of various cryptids and monsters from folklore. The game grew exponentially during the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, as most TCGs did, especially with DJ and music producer Steve Aoki, who became an early equity partner in the game. Although MetaZoo had a rule set and gameplay, it seemed to draw attention primarily from collectors, which is never a good sign. If right away it's all about the collectability investing, that's always a bad sign for card games, in my opinion. That we're looking for the next Pokemon trading card game, yet, just like I said, or the next Magic the Gathering to invest in. At the time of its closure, MetaZoo was working on several crossover projects, including one with Scenario featuring characters from Hello Kitty, which that one came out and collapsed, and had just had its product added to shelves at Target. The game was also set to be featured in an upcoming episode of Pawn Stars. So very, very tragic. Again, my heart goes out to you if you guys are really into MetaZoo. It was never something that I was into, but you know, if you did like it, again, that really sucks. Let me know if you guys have your own theories about why this game failed. I think a lot of it had to do with Hello Kitty, but you know, they had a lot of other people apparently to pay, and they didn't have the liquidity there, and they're saying it's logistical errors. I don't know if that's the case. Let me know your theories down below in the comment section. And with that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.